Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Smith Lake, Alabama Television. I'm sitting here with Kayla Smith. She is the GIS specialist. We'll find out a little bit about Kayla in just a moment. And Kayla, did you know they named the lake after you?
I wish that was the case.
Huh?
I wish
I
that was
think
the
they
case.
did. I always got to start my segments with the joke.
You're
Are you
ready.
ready?
I'm ready.
All right, it's a knock knock joke. All right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Knock knock.
Who is there?
Interrupting cow. Moo!
Interrupting.
Moo!
I love
You gotta
that.
tell your kid that when they're about
Yes.
four
Oh,
years
she'll
old.
love that.
Like I said, I'm here with Kayla Smith. She is the GIS specialist. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Kayla.
So, I went to University of Alabama in Huntsville. I actually am from Cullman, went to Cullman High School and everything. So I
Go
am a
Bears!
local.
Go Bears!
Bearcat, yes, sir.
Bearcats.
And so I went to University of Alabama in Huntsville for geographic information systems and remote sensing. And then I went to Purdue University for my master's in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. And between the two, I got my mapping and I got my emergency management, and I'm here.
By the way, this is going to be the easiest interview I've ever done because after I got out of the Air Force flying C-5s, I actually flew aerial survey for a few years for Atlantic Technologies, doing remote sensing and aerial survey up there. So I'm very familiar with what Kayla does, and we're going to talk about Smith Lake and when something goes wrong down there, how they find us and how they dispatch assets, whether it's ambulances, paramedics, or air assets to help us out on the lake. So, Kayla, this is all up to you. I'm on your radar here, so I know all about
Right.
GIS. So, uh, tell us a little bit how if something goes wrong on the lake,
Yes,
tell me
sir.
what happens.
All right. So back in May, the whole state as a whole, moved to something called geo routing, which basically takes your phone's location once you call, dial 911, it grabs your phone location and it'll actually show dispatch where you are. It gives them a very good idea of where you are. So if you're on the lake and you're in the middle of the lake, not sure where you are, dispatch can actually see your phone's location, which is fabulous. Um, and if you are on the Cullman County side of the water, we have a set boundary that when your cell phone location falls within that point, you're going to get Cullman County, and we're going to send who we need to.
So you're telling me they can take my cell phone and they know exactly where I am when I call them. Does it send the lat long through the towers?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
It'll read your phone's GPS location
Yeah.
and plot it based on where you are.
And sometimes, let's say I don't have really good coverage out there on the lake, and I do make the call. How is it always going to send that GPS information through the tower, or does it?
So it has 6 seconds to route, geo route. So it has 6 seconds to find your location because we want the call to get to the dispatcher as soon as possible. So if it takes longer than that 6 seconds, it'll route to a tower. But while you're on the phone with dispatch explaining what's going on, it's still working on getting your location. So it'll come very quickly after that. And once it gets your location, it'll update on dispatcher's screen with that right after it. So once you say, hey, this is a situation that's going on, this is where I am, the dispatcher, they call it rebid, basically. Right. It'll rebid and then show where you are. But we want your call to get to dispatch as soon as possible. So if it takes longer than 6 seconds, we're going to route it that way and work in the background to get your location.
Okay, let's say I'm skiing with my buddy Bob and Stefan. We're down there. I take a hard fall and I break my leg. Stefan gets on the phone. He calls 911. Mm-hmm. In the Crane Hill area, what happens?
So again, once you call 911, originally the sheriff's department will answer, and you say, hey, I have a medical emergency. And then what they're going to do is they're going to transfer you to Cullman EMS and County Fire, and they're going to handle it from there. So they're going to decide what is best in that time, but they're going to dispatch generally a volunteer fire department because they're centralized to that area. So they're going to get to you first. So they're going to kind of work ahead while they also call an ambulance, and an ambulance is going to head that way as well. And then from there, whatever resources are needed, if an air evac is needed or med flight, something like that, then that'll be up to them to call and get that sorted.
So it would be at the discretion, or once the first assets get there, to make the call whether they need uh, additional help. Let's say I was knocked out and that I needed to be rushed to a hospital. Then they would make the call whether to call into their dispatcher and say,
Right. Yes, they'll be able to make that decision, once they've assessed the situation and made sure that, this is needed, and then they'll coordinate together about getting a landing spot and everything like
Cullman 911 covers about, what do we say, about half the lake?
that. Just roundabout. We have a good bit.
Yeah, probably about half the lake. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. The other two agencies would be Walker County and Winston County.
Correct.
So let's say I'm in Winston County and I get hurt. What would happen then if they get a hit on my cell phone? It says I'm here and I'm in Winston County. I know you can't speak much to what happens there, but
right. It'll be similar, just because the state as a whole uses this geo-routing process. They should have the resources as well to be able to see where your phone's location is. And if you're right there on the cusp, or if they need additional help, I know we have mutual aid agreements that, we are willing to come over the line and help you guys out in your time of need. Same thing, they're willing to come over and help us if we need the help.
Yeah.
So it's one big coordinated event, if you will.
Yeah. Kayla, you are one impressive lady. I mean,
Thank you.
got the background, the GIS and the Homeland Security. I mean, I'm so impressed. And I just want all the people to know out there that, something happens on the lake, something bad happens. We got people like Kayla here, prepared and with the systems, the cell phone technology to find you and to get to you very rapidly.
Yes.
So it's been great talking to you.
Yes, it's nice to talk to you.
I hope to see you down on the lake sometime. Maybe we can go skiing or surfing down there. So
that would be perfect.
That's all for now. Smith Lake, Alabama Television. Hope to see you on the next episode.